Hello, and welcome to another end of the month, which means that's another manga log. And it is getting close to the end of the year. November's done and we're now into December, meaning that we're getting close to the end of 2023. But before all that, we must discuss the manga that I read in the month of November 2023. Now then, I will say roughly I would be lying a bit if I didn't say I read less than usual, but more than October. And I was mostly planning on doing more reading during Thanksgiving, but I didn't and played video games. And yeah, so I could have read more, but I don't really need to read a lot, and it's just one of those situations where sometimes I just don't feel like reading and feel like more playing video games and stuff. And I also decided to start up Final Fantasy 12 again and hopefully beat that one day. I'm back to where I was the last time I played Final Fantasy 12, so hopefully I get past that part and, continue on. But on to what I read. And it's not a large amount, and it's not anything too crazy. But number-wise, I read 20 volumes of manga, 0 comics, and finished 0. So this probably will be a little bit shorter on the talking points, but the majority of this video is just me going over all of the new series that I started. And if I do seem a little bit distracted, I just want to put this out there. There is a little bit of noise above me because I think my neighbors are either watching a movie or playing a video game or some shit. And then two, one of my other co-players in our vampire campaign did really something stupid. And I've been trying to think of a way to get us out of this situation, but we're not talking about that. We are talking about manga, and specifically what I started. So, alright, either though I did not actually, finish any series, I read a fuck ton of new series, specifically 7. But yeah, so think of this part if you ever thought about why he talks about stuff that he starts off in the month. Think of this as sort of like my first impression type of deal, because most of the time I usually only read the first 1 or 2 volumes of a series by the end of a month. So I wouldn't really have a hardcore yep, this is a great series. And sometimes some of those series only have 3 volumes or something like that. So just keep in mind that this is just my first impressions of a series. So let's get on to the first one, and that is, oh my god, Malevolent Spirits Monogatari. So this one is a little bit interesting. It's essentially the yokai in Japanese mythologies, where they inhabit a certain object after a certain period of time. I'm not a historian or a yokai expert, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, but it's essentially that. And these man, I should have just read the back of it instead of trying to explain. They're called Tsukigyomi. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm sorry. But essentially, there are these specific people that deal with them, usually in a peaceful manner, except this guy right there, who is Hyoma, who really hates them and is willing to destroy them, instead of, listening to his grandfather and other people being like, hey, don't do that, they're not all evil. And in cases that they are evil, yes, you do attack, but not all of them are evil. And his grandfather essentially sends him to live with this girl who is right there, called Botan. And she lives with 6 of these Tsukiyomis. Tsukiyomi? Lives with 6 of those, and essentially is trying to show him, like, hey, not all of them are evil. In most cases, they're kind of docile. In some cases, they just want to talk. And yeah, so all in all, I would say this is so far pretty interesting, with it only being the first volume that I read. And the main reason why he hates them is because his parents, and I think like his family, got killed by evil, one of them, and as a result just wants to destroy all of them. But it's interesting so far. There is conflict, of course. There's always conflict in stories, but yeah, so far so good. The art is pretty solid, and I will just show you a little bit, like, yeah, like, bam, it's pretty good, pretty solid, pretty readable for the most part. But yeah, really solid, really good. $13.99, so a little bit more pricey, but pretty good. All right, on to one that I picked up because it's a Yuri. Just going to say that straight out, and that is My Cute Little Kitten. And it is about this cute story of Rena, who has had a crush on Yuna from when they were like roommates in college and never really confessed. And then one day Yuna brings home a cat, and that kind of develops to the point where they actually are able to talk and, you know, start dating essentially, and have actually their feelings, you know, talked about and understood. And so far so good. It's cute, it's adorable. I hope for the best, and I really just want them to be together forever, like, you know, they say. But yeah, so far so good with, you know, the one volume. I can't really say much about it other than communication is always important in every relationship, whether it be romantic or not. If you don't communicate, people don't know what the fuck you want. So sure, it took them a while, but they finally communicated and understand, and they're going to continue communicating, hopefully. This might age poorly, but hopefully they actually understand each other's feelings by, say it with me, talking it out. Oh, because that's like the majority of romance is just them not speaking or communicating their feelings well. That's it. But yeah, so far so good. I don't know how many volumes are going to be in this, but it feels like one of those ones that's like 3 to 5 volume series, maybe 6, but yeah, so far so good. All right, on to the next one, which is a sequel to another series that I've read and finished, and you might be able to tell the series right away, and that is Shaman King Flowers, which is a interesting one because I didn't really think that there was going to be a sequel for it, but like when I was reading Shaman King, because of how the plot was working and the fact like the Shaman King tournament thing is only once every 500 years, and I don't know what they like, were they going to fast forward 500 years into the future or what have you. But no, this takes place 14 years after the Shaman King was determined, and it follows the son of Yo, and damn it, what's her name? I fucked up. I can't believe I forgot her name. What's her name? One second. One little fucking second. Anna. Wow. Can't believe I forgot Anna. Anyways, their son, Hana. Not Anna. Hana. Which is flower. So, yeah. And essentially, dealing with the fact like he's living in a generation that doesn't really need combat, and he has like, you know, his shaman powers and all that. But one day, distant relatives of the Ashikar, I still don't know how to pronounce that name. Essentially distant relatives that don't like the main branch of the family come to try and kill him, and that is essentially where the story starts. And I've already read volume 2, so it's a little bit interesting to see how it develops from there. And they're teasing something else that is like coming along the lines, which sort of feels like the same type of deal with a shaman king tournament thing to find out the shaman king, but different. So maybe it won't be the exact same, and maybe there will be actually combat and not people talking out their feelings, because this is a shonen battle manga, but most of the time it's them just talking out, and I'm like, I just want fights. That's it. So I don't know how it's going to progress. So far I like it, but that might change in the future. All right, on to the next one. And it is one that I've seen clips of online from the anime, and I'm happy that I started reading it, because I was always interested in it based off of what I saw, and that is Welcome to Demon High School Iruma-kun. Iruma-kun. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Essentially, his parents suck. His parents suck so much, and he has a problem saying no to people because they constantly were trying to get him to do things. And as a result, they sold his soul to a literal devil, and that devil just wants him to be his grandson. So hopefully that it's better than not, but still. And he gets put into human high school, and is trying to pretend like he is not a human, and is trying his hardest to fit in and hopefully not die. And it's pretty funny at points where he's just like, what the fuck is going on? Ah! But yeah, so far I like it. It's really funny at points and enjoyable. I wish him all the best, Iruma-kun. He just needs better parents. Like, his parents fucking suck, and they could go burn in a hole for all I care. But yeah, really good, really solid. Would highly recommend. All right. My nose is stuffed up. Sorry about that. The weather changing so much. But what is a significant change from the original source material? And I wouldn't really expect, but it is a funny turn, and that is Elden Ring, The Road to the Erd Tree. It's essentially following the plot of Elden Ring, sort of, except everyone's fucking weird, and the main character is... The best way to explain it is if a regular-ass dude that didn't know what the fuck was going on but got summoned into Elden Ring, and he's just like, what is any of this happening? And then all the people reacting to him being an absolute dingus. It's funny at points. It's a little bit like, I would say it's a little bit slower to read, but for the most part, some of the jokes don't really land for me. But I like Elden Ring, so I'll probably continue reading it. And they also did my boy Blyde really dirty in this. Like, how dare they? He's a cool character. Why make fun of him? He's a good boy. He's the goodest boy. But yeah, it's funny at points, but it depends on your humor. And if you played Elden Ring, I guess you would be more inclined to have a better time reading it. And I would just say, like, the main character who Aso, He just needs to go out and grind other things other than just going through the main story. Like, if you're stuck, do other things. That's the Elden Ring way. Alright. From there, we have one that is not funny, but is pretty more on the serious side, but I do enjoy it. And that is the Dragon King's Imperial Wrath. Falling in love with the bookish princess of the Rat Clan. So, this one, pretty interesting. It's a romance, if you can't tell. Essentially takes place in a world where there are 13 major clans based off of the Zodiacs, plus the Cat Clan. Because, you know, there was that one, I think in Fruits Baskets, they talked about it, but essentially, every so often, the Dragon King is needing a bride, and one of the princesses of the 13 clans go to the Imperial Palace of the Dragon King to be selected. And in this case, it was the rat princess that is I'm bad at Japanese, and most of these characters have Chinese names, so, or I'm pretty sure Chinese names. I also am, I'm a white dude trying to read names that are not just Steve, so let's go. She is Riying, but she's bookish and is just really there because she wanted to look at the library. It turns out she is the like freaking like forever mate of the Dragon King, so she is unaffected by his aura presence, even though other princesses are not affected as much, but she's not affected at all, and as such she is chosen to be his bride, even though they are for some strange reason still playing it off that she's not going to be, for reasons that I don't really understand, but politics, I would guess. But yeah, and them just trying to understand and know each other, and yeah, it's adorable at points, and the art style is pretty solid, pretty good. Like, look at this, pretty good style of art. So, all right, on to the last part, the last one, the one that actually was kind of interested and seeing a few times, and I think I saw the Manga Log read it, and that is, I'm going to mispronounce this, but it is Kimino Jian. So essentially, it is this story about yokai, and specifically people that are half yokai. But it starts off with this kid living in his rural village that he is called Dorotoba. That's what his name was there, but he changes it to what is it called? What do they change? Okay, there it is. They change his name to Kanabe. So he is just like a specific yokai that doesn't have blood and really can't be killed. So he is also lacking emotions at points, but he gets recruited into this detective agency to find more of these like other yokais or half yokais, and you know, deal with the repercussions of that. So I don't know, I really enjoy it so far. I will probably be picking up more of them, and hopefully the story stays strong and doesn't drop off. And I also like his deadpan nature for reacting to most things. And yeah, also he definitely does the brute force method of whenever he gets injured, of just not really caring because he doesn't feel pain. And if he ever gets stuck, he just rips off a limb because it just grows back. So yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and I am willing to see the how everything progresses. So, yeah, that is the 7 that I started this month. Really solid random collection I started that has action, romance, and fun joke and japes. So from there, let's just finish the video. Alright, that was the end of the manga log. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some recommendations for yourselves and maybe have read some of the ones that I've read, and tell me about how you thought about them and what your opinions on them are. I will probably read maybe about the same this month in December than last month. I will be, going back to see my family for about a week, so that might slow down the process, but I will be getting a lot of days off from work just because of the holidays and all that. So, yeah, and then also, this is almost fully filled. These are the last pages that aren't filled. I am going to have to use the new manga log. It's a little sad. 3 years with this one. And I think this is the first time I've actually filled up a journal. Actually, physically filled up a journal. I will say, just in this point, I will probably, there are some times in this one that, like, early on that I probably would have done differently, that I realized later on that I could have done differently to, like, save some space. Like, this part, I would have just truncated it down to where it was, like, or like this part where I skipped days and wrote it down, and then later on I just wrote, like, in the days and skipped. So the other one will probably last me a little bit longer than 3 years. I probably could have gotten maybe, I don't know, another year or so out of this one if I had done that earlier on. But hey, live and learn. But don't be sad, and I'll say a final goodbye at the year wrap up for 2023. And yeah, so if you want to see more of this bearded face, think about hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, think about hitting the like button. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, put it down in the comments, like what you thought about the manga that I read, or recommendations for manga or comics that you have for me. So stay safe out there. The temperature is weird. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's hot. So stay indoors, read some manga, play some video games, listen to some banger music, and just relax and be safe. So that's it. Bye.